This is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. Of course, go to the Weird Renegade website, see the phone number there. Hit me up in reference to 101 monthly lessons, 101 lessons that I work with you closely in reference to all type of energies and projects and image consulting and work and so on, and understand spell work or work is separate from the one-on-one lessons working closely with individuals with various issues going on from counseling and on. But then I want to make this kind of quick because we already understand that Wayward deals with underground occultism and occultism frequencies and India occultism. In addition to, you already know that this energy here, that what I'm talking is occult energies, occult frequencies, and occult news. However, art is occultism. Occultism is motherfucking art. Wayward is about that revenge, redemption, responsibility, and that motherfucking spell work. And you know I get down to the root of shit. You know I get down to the darkness of it. However, I want to address some shit that I was offended in my comments. Look, I was offended because I'm tired of niggas always trying to humble you, right? And I seen in my comments, somebody had the audacity to write, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure some of y'all seen it. Y'all big ass still here, or your big ass is still around. And I'm like, yeah, my big ass is still around, eating well, living well, and what? And you should too, right? Then I really looked at the energies of it. I said, damn, niggas can't stop, won't stop, will never stop trying to humble. And it just triggered my energies, right? And I always thought to myself, I said, and that's why as a big girl, you can't be in the industry, because that's the type of energy that they pull on you. That's the type of energy that they want on you. I was like, these niggas not gonna count as Von my black ass. Okay? Calling themselves humbling, right? So as I really looked at some of these energies, it reminded me of something. I'm going to say I'm a hater, right? Because people always hit me up and say, you know, that Sloan Bella, she's always copying your shit. Or she tries to pull from your frequencies and then create her own, right? And when I compare the energies and the spell work, and I want to go back to yo big ass is still on here, that energy is why Black people are in the positions that we're in now. And I've talked to my clients about this, where niggas put you under nigga shit. Niggas put you under nigga spells. Niggas won't release you out of their nigga dumbness, okay? So a way to put you under nigga is to attack your glitches or attack what they feel are your glitches, right? So by doing that, that controls the mechanism, because that was supposed to control something. And a lot of us are underneath that and we don't realize it. And as that shit is going on, then you tap into the other world. It's not going on over there. It's not happening. But it's always happening in the Black world. The Black world always want to humble you. They want to tell you, you hear me say, they want to tell you, you ain't shit. You need to shut the fuck up, right? You this, you that, you look like this, you do that, you talk like this, but it's all spell work. Not so much I'm tripping on what the person said, I'm tripping on the work. And I've seen this for too long. When I'm working with my clients, when I'm looking at Black people, when I'm seeing that what they feel is called a humble spirit, and we are in our positions now, whoever hate you, you hate them. Whoever is your Lord hate them. You have to let your Lord handle those people who hate you. Because when they hate you, they are against you and they are in the ethers fucking with your energy. Some niggas will get on here and believe, oh, she just clowning. No, I'm looking at the occult. I went back and I looked at Sloan Bella, right? And I became very much of a hater and very much disappointed in black people. I get shit like that and I know I'm a million times better than Sloan Bella. You niggas out here listening to a woman giving you ether readings. Natal charts and all this gadget ass shit. Whole retreat and psychic readings. And you hold on to that? You guys feel I could get online, type in all my information, and it's going to give me a chart. So your life is in air and not on earth. And I bet you 99% of you who do those things is still not helping you. These are not the same frequencies of the past because we have different type of gypsy readers. These people are psychics, not prophets. These people are not there to help you predict your brand or anything. That's what I do. But where things become challenging is due to people having side information. Meaning this, if I see what I see here, I'll get somebody be like, okay, yeah, but da 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 da. But that's because they have a whole bunch of other shit that they into and that they're incorporating with what I do. And I don't do what everybody else, their movements, right? And when I'm looking at all of this and I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right? I'm like, why are people stuck on Sloan Bella, or is it an illusion? So people were kind of talking about to me the energies of Malcolm Jamal Warner and her energy of reading what the fuck is going on. And they felt that she was reading what I was talking about, that incorporated it in what she was talking about. Yeah, it's big bank take little bank in the ether world. Where I'm offended with Sloan Bella is there were so many black women that were on some real shit doing exactly what she was doing, that was doing celebrity readings, celebrity drawings, and reading within that. And y'all didn't blow them up. It is disgusting how I see so many black people support this Sloan Bella, but y'all didn't support your own. I go back to Witch Patrol. And with Witch Patrol, our main focus at that time was to out the fake ass witches, the fake ass bullshit, and the fake ass readings, and the fake ass occult groups, all of that. Not to tear down people's livelihood or businesses, but to obstruct the hustle. Okay? Because spirit is spirit. And some of you guys didn't understand that. So, of course, you had a whole array of motherfuckers that was attack. What is very interesting about this energy, like we were talking about back then, is this is all a group, it's all a ranch, it's all under the same umbrella. And all they keep doing is birthing out new females with fake ass information. And they use the air to push it, but it's not coming out the way it should come out. They'll be deceptive to you and say these are the readers of the stars, these are the readers, and these niggas ain't reading shit. It is to make money. And you still not getting fulfilled. You still not getting what you need. You still not getting your guidance. That's why even in what I do, I get a lot of people who battle me because social media has created monsters and Frankensteins. And the first thing they'll do is attack your character and your image. Do you know how many times on here my character and image has been attacked? Fat this, fat that, look like this, look like that, look like this. And all these people are supposed to be in the spiritual realm. All of them has been black people. I've had white people, and black people support their behavior. Let me tell you this much. If you really keep it real and you go back to the whole witch patrol, was it really me talking shit or was it the other person? But I was always getting attacked. Because my full goal was to see who you are in the spiritual realm. What are you about? And how are you helping people? But it makes good, but it makes a good movie. It makes a good show. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that comes out of it at all. So when I'm looking at Sloan Bella has taken the identity of 3 different black women and groups that was doing hellified readings. Wasn't there some Haitian girls on here doing celebrity readings that can outdo Sloan Bella? It was so many. And I'm like, well, what happened? But there were a main group of young ladies that was with the shit. Y'all didn't blow them up. Or who's blowing these people up? Because when I look at Sloan Bella, I totally see CIA. I totally see retreats. I totally see programming. I totally see psychology. She reminds me of a gypsy mafia. I was listening to her talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner. And something rocked me. These charts. And she was talking about something about his rising being in Pisces. Then I got suspicious. I said, his rising is nowhere in Pisces. But I can see you people didn't put that boy in water because you didn't put him as a Cancer, moved him into a Virgo, moved him into this, I'm going to call it the first home that pushed him into Pisces. And you can only do that if you demoted his soul. And then went elemental. Because then it will match with what his mother was talking about, that he was born in water and he died in water. They playing in our faces. She talked about that she see these people and she feel. But when a black woman says she feels, she's considered crazy. But whatever that Sloan Bella is, she's copacetic. Y'all believe in that? If I right now say I feel, I see the spirit, you will tell me I'm crazy. That's why you don't hear me talk a lot about the spirit, because you will not receive it if I said the spirit. The spirit says this, the spirit says that. You niggas will get on here saying some ragamuffin ass shit, and then the white people will tear you down. But let someone like, what's this person, Sloan Bella, say, I feel and I this. She's basically saying the spirit is telling her this. She's trying to tell you that. And there is very much discrimination in this occult world between the white and black. And I don't know what this Sloan Bella is, but it's very gypsy-ish. And I went undercover. I've studied gypsies and their behaviors and how they read people. It's very much house, Ifa and Santeria house. And I'm listening like, what the fuck is she talking about? Why don't you stop playing in people's faces? Just admit that you looked at my fucking video. And when I say riptide, and riptide is basically breaking in an agreement with the spirit, breaking in agreement with what you're in. That you took that energy and you said, I feel. How about you feel none of that shit and you really know what the fuck happened because you're part of the cult? She was in the energies talking about that energies of Amy Bradley. That whole myth story of the kidnapped woman on the cruise ship. Would it be wrong to say the story didn't exist? It's a myth? And kidnapping and prostitution been going on these ships? Especially don't get on them gay cruises because your ass may end up missing. How many people go missing? We don't want to talk about myth stories, right? And you're wondering how you go from being a big bitch to Sloan Bella because it goes hand in hand. Black people who have been doing what the fuck Sloan Bella been doing ain't nowhere. They gone. But then they put in place this CIA agent who create birth charts and psychic notions in the ethers and astral planes. You guys ride on it. Because with your vision, you're able to put your hands on something. But how about when you're in the spirit, you can't ever put your hands on spirit. That's not what that's about. That's not a prophet or a prophetess, because we're really not supposed to be having male prophets. We're supposed to have prophetess. So now the psychic has replaced the prophetess. And the psychic gives you tools to back up all information. And all of this seems copacetic. I feel he was this. I feel she was that. And the rising of what? When I hear some of my spiritual constituents or my clients say, oh, my moon is this, and my da-da-da's and this, I just look at them crazy. I let them flow. And then I continue on with what I'm doing. Because what will happen is when you hear that, as an occultist or whatever you want to call yourself, you will get lost in it. And then you will end up doing whatever you're doing within the scopes of a birth chart, natal chart. They have shit out here telling you where you should live. That tells me that you people have no clue about spirit. None at all. That's why you guys getting caught up in guerrilla churches and gangster gospel. That's why you niggas out here getting caught up in Sloan Bella and all this shit. That's why people like myself get these whack ass niggas that get on my shit and want to talk shit and call themselves humbling. Black people want to humble you too much in the spiritual world. They want to tap into you and humble you. They got that bad. Trust and believe. The fleshly body cannot humble anybody better than spirit. The fleshly body cannot humble anybody better than life. Because all is going to happen is tit for tat, tit for tat. It's very practical. The world make you believe you're God, but you are under God. So when you're under God, you believe that you could control someone's mechanism. Because in the ethers, they have given you guys written energies that you could just get on and say anything. You could write anything. And it manifests itself through the universe. Well, you guys didn't manifest yourself without having money in your pockets and getting ether readings. You guys can't wait to get a reading in the ethers. And then talking about, well, it manifested and it came true. Of course it manifested and came through. Because all your ether energies helped it manifest and come through. Yeah, it made sense because you wanted it to make sense. That's why. None of this was going on in the past. Birth charts and all that shit been popping off, but it was more respected. It was more of an energy of a prediction. See, we don't have predictions anymore. There aren't any such things or predictions. You have ChatGPT reading your whole life force and giving you an ether prediction. And that's what you niggas are on. So I'm going to say, don't come at me and you under ether predictions. You under these Sloan Bellas. You under birth charts and shit like that. You come to me when you ready to get some real motherfucking work done, really ready to really break some shit down. Do you understand what's going on in Washington, D.C. is due to a birth chart? Do you understand with them attacking certain frequencies in D.C. is connected to a birth chart? And them giving an astrology sign to a city? And then once they give that astrology sign to the city, then they do that city's chart. And that's why they move around. Also, you guys keep talking about gentrification, but you're not understanding it's under a birth chart. It's under energies, plans, and all that. That is considered a birth chart, a natal chart. Period. It's above y'all pay grade. Anyway, Keisha Bottoms, London Breed, Mariel Bowser, LaToya Cantrell. I've always been interested with these 4 women because I said, what type of coven is that? What is the energy? Their energy is alike. Okay? And Keisha Bottoms, in a way, stepped down. London Breed got ousted. Mario Bowser is straight gaming you niggas in DC. A couple of years back, she asked for this. Did y'all forget? Did y'all forget that she asked for the military to come and take over the city? Did y'all forget? You guys forget that she asked for counsel and she asked for legislation? Am I pronouncing it right? Legislation? You know what I mean? To come in, put monies invest, to have armed forces to take over the cities, to take over DC, or come into also Maryland because it's so horribly bad. Did y'all forget when she requested that? And now she has the energy to say that Trump is un-American. And then she went to Martha Vineyards to, as they say, to pick up her kid. I didn't even know she had a kid. I said, what kid? Because technically, and I won't say allegedly, I thought she was a whole lesbian. Right? These black people that they put in front of us are playing in our faces just for them to replace them with others, with something else. Your Mario Bowser ain't shit. She wasn't shit when during the pandemic with Fauci, when she walked into your neighborhoods asking you to take a shot. Y'all didn't sue her. Y'all should have sued her for war crimes and crimes against humanity. You people in DC didn't sue Mario Bowser and whatever, the state of DC, whatever you guys call it, District of Columbia. Y'all didn't sue the federal government for sending that woman to basically to create genocide, coming door to door. Because they didn't read your natal charts. They didn't read you. They have collected data and now given a reading. LaToya Cantrell. Let's go to London Breed for a minute. London Breed was playing in y'all faces. It was very clear she wanted to hit that White House with Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris said, gotcha. And she did all that during the pandemic for that. The thing about it is, we just have to understand some things because they all have the same energy. Let me go back to DC for a minute. And I believe the same thing is happening in Oakland and stuff like that. Go back and research London in 2023, where in London, they had the same thing happening with the encampments. And they hired a private entity to come in for, I think, a week to tear down all the encampments in London. Hired a private entity. It's the same movement. Okay? So it's the same thing that's happening in DC. It emulates, it mirrors each other. That's why they're keeping us from the rest of the world. This is why I said they're playing in your face, because they're doing readings in the ethers. They're literally creating natal charts in the ethers. And then moving in on them. If it works over here, then it works over here. then you're under the same psychosis. It's all a plan. It is a mapped out plan. We're going to say allegedly, we're going to say conspiracies and mayhem. But there's shit going on in the rest of the world that you guys have no clue about. This is nothing but a whole Nazi theater. And we're in it. LaToya Cantrell in that Louisiana. One, we need to stop letting them play in our faces. Did y'all forget she was already indicted federally? Did y'all forget? And I think it was a couple years back when Biden and Kamala was in office. It's either they were already in office, maybe. I'm not sure. But they've been, I think this is her third indictment. Right? Look, there's so much shit to this. It's so unbelievable. First of all, y'all forgot when she was indicted and it was something with the daughter and all this shit. Didn't they arrest her? Wasn't it something weird? And we're not talking about this? How y'all forget, right? In addition, it's exactly what I said, that they'll sit up and let you out to do something. What the fuck is really going on? Because it all comes out in her being indicted after drug busts. Drug bust in Atlanta, that was a big one. Drug bust in Santa Ana, California. Then a big drug bust in Louisiana. I believe that drug bust happened on a Wednesday. She gets indicted 2 days later. And in that drug bust in Louisiana, allegedly, they had a snitch. The snitch tells on the drug dealers. The next thing you know, SWAT came. They pretended to arrest the snitch. They shot him with a rubber gun, with the rubber bullets, put him in the ambulance, went around the corner, allegedly, let him out the ambulance. He ain't been seen since. And then LaToya Cantrell gets indicted. So somebody was snitching. Was it LaToya? Or what was going on here? Then you have conspiracy theories of who and what governor she was sleeping with. And I'm like, ew. And they saying it's a whole mess. Right? And some of you people don't understand, she did her job. She did her job. She helped the Indians roll in. She helped the Indians. She was part of the Indians taking over Louisiana, taking over the French Quarter, taking over shit. She did her job. She's done. So she need to go do her federal time. If that. They shut that shit. They shut her office down after all that. Didn't I just tell you there's an attack on Black women just for them to be replaced, right? We're going to keep playing with them, and they're going to keep playing with us. They're out here playing with water. How many floods are they going to have in Louisiana? Isn't this number 3? So we had the Katrina, and then we have this other one that was in New Orleans back then, September 9th, 1965, Hurricane Betsy. And then there was one before that. So I said, in Louisiana, do floods come every 40 years? My Aunt Julia told me about one that she was like, yes, it was a flood. And she told me, oh, I forgot what. She said the president came out and was talking to the people. And she said it was flood and it was a blackout. And I swore it was Louisiana. So they keep playing in our faces with water. We have Sloan Bella putting Malcolm Jamal Warner in water, and that Costa Rica bullshit. They keep fucking around with floods. You got this shit going on in Louisiana. What the fuck? That's called a cleansing. They're washing out the old, bringing in something new, and they're using water. Water and fire are your cleansing spirits. When they really need to do a hard reset, they just burn it down. That's a hard reset. That means there's some parts of it that they may want to say, but they need to do a quick hard reset. When they flood your shit, that means they want all that shit gone. They don't need it to exist. Anyway, I went back to look at Umar Johnson because I know some niggas out here are angry because I spoke about Umar Johnson. But can we really speak about him and stop fucking around and playing? A spiritual constituents pointed out to me that apparently in Delaware, they're showing receipts of where they've been trying to contact Umar in reference to their school in Delaware. And I started to do some research about serial killers. Because a lot of these entertainers are serial killers and murderers, and they're in the industry, and psychopaths and psychotic. Most serial killers have high IQs, very smart individuals. They're not dumb. And there's a part of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there's a lot of kidnappings, and I'm talking about with boys. But in the 70s, there was a high root energy of kidnapping young men, teens, and boys. As one of them, I've always talked about John Wayne Gacy, that I swear is J.D. Vance's dad, allegedly. But there was a name for it, which was called sex killers. Okay, there was a name. Y'all can look it up on social media. Especially when I go back and look at John Wayne Gacy, and they gave a 32, 33 bodies. And you have to understand, some of these people were put up. It was a whole ring and organization of psychopaths that will go out and kill you and kidnap you, and they all knew each other. Then I start to drop down into Dr. York. But before I dropped into Dr. York, I went back up into the Atlanta kidnappings and them boys that were kidnapped. Where did they go? What happened? I never thought that guy did it. And you know, he has a connection to Kamala Harris. Look, I talked about that. Isn't he the cousin? Something? I can't remember, but there's a connection. And the boys were school age, just like with John Wayne Gacy, and just like with some other stories, they always high school, junior high to high school kids. And they were talking about with Dr. York and his community in Brooklyn, it was the same effect. And he had a space for boys, right? They talk about it. And I had 2 clients that talked about this shit and verified it, right? In Brooklyn. Which dropped me into Umar Johnson. Why was his focus these schools and boys? Why was his ass always going into Central South America and Eastern Asian? Y'all would have trusted him with your sons? What the fuck was going on? This nigga is supposed to be a psychologist? Your sons that go to school be under hypnosis? Y'all gonna get Sloan bellaed. These motherfuckers will sit up and categorize your kids, your sons, and do birth charts on them. And then go into using Islamic and Hindu frequencies. I had somebody audacity to try to check me and trying to tell me what the fuck to talk about with this Hindu shit. I'm going to talk the way I talk and look at it the way it is because you guys want to make it black. I'm not saying that it isn't black. I'm saying the current state of what it is not in its original state. I was just in a fucking Hare Krishna ceremony. The fucks? Y'all think I'm just talking just to be talking? I understand what them paintings may represent in pictures, but those are not real. Because you're not getting the real. What I keep trying to tell you, the real is at these museums. The real is buried. You're not practicing yoga, Hindu, whatever you guys want to call it, because I'm not about to go into the different frequencies. I don't care what you think you know, because you don't know shit. I understand that your soul went and did all that research and spent that life, but she don't even fucking know. They only give you what they want you to know, because they only give you what they want you to put out. And they will make you believe that you're getting the origins of this shit, but they're using this shit on our children. They was about to turn that damn school and fucking a boy, a teen eunuch shit. I don't know. Y'all talking about them Hindu and Islamic boy dancers. What the fuck you think your sons was going to be up in that goddamn school? Can we talk real? Can we talk right? Is this what we're scared to talk about? Y'all don't want to admit that y'all was about to walk your children into something that you didn't, that would have fucked up their whole life. This man his character is flawed. No one is perfect in his universal soul, but his life force is too much out in the universe. When you are a public official, because that's a public official type of energy, your image have to be put together. I was talking to a spiritual constituent, and she was explaining to me that her whole family is about that school teacher and that school life, and you need accreditation. You had to be credited, bitch. What were you about to walk your kids into? In Africa, there's energies going on with little kids, little boys, and they are infatuated with little boys right now. They want to marry off the little girls to these old ass motherfuckers, but they're infatuated with the little boys. And we don't want to talk about that. I'm just gonna say it. I believe Umar was I believe Umar was about to get your kids caught up. Your sons. I'm gonna say allegedly. And I'm gonna say conspiracies and mayhem, but we just got to put it out there for what it is. I believe they was going to build another cult, and the ancestors interrupted all that shit. I believe that building was used for giggles and laughs to run money, allegedly. That's why niggas around here talking about your big ass is still around. Yes, I am. That's why my channel is buried in shit, because they don't want you to know the real shit. But do you know how many times that I've been told in shit that my numbers are off? And I'm like, oh, I think you're right. And that's okay. Because it doesn't stop the occultism from coming out. I went back and studied Bobby Hemet. And I said to myself, I said, damn, Bobby Hemet is a whole religion. Like literally, you could create a religion out of Bobby Hemet. And they're going to keep playing in our faces about his energy and creating these AIs. Talking about he breaks his silence. I'm not about to play with that. Mm-mm. FBA. Look, I had somebody trying to fight me with a 35-page paragraph to let me have it, to say I'm always talking shit about FBA. Then bitch, you must be new. Because I talk shit about everybody. And they brought up Akon. I said, I know they don't listen to me. Because I talk shit about Akon all the time. And Akon is part of the shit. Of how he scam. He didn't scam. The people who use the likes of him scam. They're just using a representation of him. What are y'all talking about? Didn't I told you? Didn't I tell you guys that Africa is nothing but Silicon Valley now? It's going to be the new Silicon Valley, just like Dubai is going to be the new Las Vegas, and that's why they're fucking up Vegas and did anything dealing with Eastern culture, especially Hinduism and stuff like that, is going to kill the city. It's going to kill the state. It's going to kill the money. Chinese people have always fucked around with Vegas because they like money. Chinese and Filipinos. But once they brought in the culture and start tearing down and uprooting old shit, it fucked up Vegas. Y'all say the pandemic? before the pandemic, I told you they had that altar that was smack dab in the middle of Vegas. And then that pandemic happened. And then people want to live. They want to live their life. Then they killed off the senior citizens that basically employed and basically brought money to Vegas. You have now Jewish people buying property and land in Vegas. But you don't understand the Italians and Jewish people and also Irish have always ran Vegas. But they start fucking up. It was the work. So Dubai is the new Las Vegas. This energies of FBA. I have no words for it. That's y'all movement. That's the what's up. I said I'm indigenous because I don't understand what that movement is. And that's okay. And I don't knock the person for creating it. That's cool in the game. But I do have a question. How come everybody that always in FBA movies, how come they always end up dead or sick or something happening? Like, someone brought to my attention a spiritual constituent who's an FBA, who believe in FBA 1,000%, and they pointed it out to me, and I said, yeah, Dr. Cress Wilson, Shurazad Ali allegedly sick, Dick Gregory dead. Wait a minute. Nipsey Hussle was on the FBA show. Paul Mooney. We have energies of, what is it? Dilbert Blair? What? Jim Brown? We heard energies from Layla Africa. Is it Layla Africa? Now Umar Johnson is crashing. Huh. All right. What I also found very interesting is studying more about Dr. York. I was very into the cryptozoology. I said, what is this? I'll call it neoscience, right? In reference to the extinct, or I'm going to say the legendary animals. And I said to myself, this is a whole religion and subculture, and it's also connected to indigenous. I said, this is great for somebody with textiles. This is who wants to really study even the energies of the alleged dinosaurs and fuel. What type of materials and textiles and furs and skins were used of animals that were extinct or a legendary animals? I said Dr. York was on to something, or maybe the government, I don't know, but I'm just asking questions. We're just going through a little bit of things, right? In the church, in the Black church, we have some shit and an epidemic going on that is horrifying. And we're having eunuchs take over the church. In Birmingham, Alabama, there's this person named Carmarian Anderson Harvey. And he is an elder who calls himself a woman at the United Church of Christ. It is a man that turned himself into a woman, and he calls himself a faith leader. Do you know that is psychotic? As a woman, that is disrespectful, that is out of line, that is an illusion, that is horrific. that is antichrist, that is delusional. Because back in the day, they would say that's psychotic and autistic. That was just in the 60s. And you telling me people are going under this United Church of Christ to get preachings and faith healing and faith energies from a eunuch? No, I'm an occultist. I'm not here to get along. This is real shit here. And this is implanted in the Black community. Guerrilla teachings, gangster gospel without anointing. And when I was listening to this person, I said, why couldn't he just come in as a man? And he needed to talk about pronouns and non-binary. What in the confusion is going on? No, it's wrong. Absolutely. But he said God. So any woman or man that's under God, you deserve to get this type of faith leading, faith healing, and faith reading. Somebody asked me, you said you're a minister. What do you practice? None of your business, because I'm speaking among mixed company. They're out here creating AIs of Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know what the fuck Whoopi Goldberg did, but they on her helmet. Giovanni, what's his name, Pelter? This is a young man that with that crazy ass story, allegedly he was murdered. If he was only gone a day, how was his body decomposing the next day? Have y'all seen those reports? Gladdis Knight son is saying that her husband is committing elder abuse. Well, one, when did she get married to this young ass nigga? And the further thing is she has Alzheimer's. Did we forget about that in the gambling problem? And I'm confused of these various Gladdis Knights, the one that they have singing forgetting the words and the other one looking real young and singing her ass off. What the fuck is going on here? Whatever happened and who is suing the police department in Milwaukee? Did we forget about the story of the 17-year-old kid who was chased? It was a car chase with the police and then he crashed into a building. What happened with that? Megan Thee Stallion received a humanitarian award. For what? For spitting at people? I've talked about for spitting at people being nasty. What the fuck is going on with Willow Smith and Jaden Smith? Why are they losing it? And people think that's cute. What's going on that they're uprooting Snoop Dogg's daughter again? It's talking about prayers. Last we understood she had a stroke. What's happening? Is she alive? Is she okay, allegedly? I seen People Bryson singing, and I said, I thought he was dead. What the fuck didn't... You guys think I'm crazy when I was talking about Janet from fucking Three's Company. Talking about now, this and that. No, you guys Google dagger that shit. That woman been dead. And I stand on it. Just like I stand on People Bryson performing in Vegas. How is it? What's his name? Is it Jeezy? How did he get custody of his daughter? From the mama. That Vietnamese woman loved her child. What the fuck is that about? What in the Masonic bullshit is that? No, that don't sound right to me. I don't give a fuck. That don't sound right to me. The world is a ghetto. In Mexico, they then created a Yahweh Shabbat Shalom church with Mexicans being rabbis and wearing the Star of David. In China, they had a watermelon contest, eating big ass watermelon, going back and forth, and it makes me suspicious. Was it them eating watermelon or us? And did we believe they was talking about us? But because Chinese eat watermelon down. They eat watermelon, chicken. All that. What's the illusion? They have the contest, not us. What did they plan on black people that was really Chinese? How in the fuck did black people get connected to watermelon if we all come from different backgrounds and different parts of the world? But for sure, Chinese eat it down. I seen that contest going. I was looking at an energy of them talking about Inca mummies. Inca mummies look like aliens. Have you seen them unthaw them and look at their eyes? Were those fucking aliens? Were those demons? What the fuck were they? Dr. Sabi. It is coming out more and more that people out here talking about Indians and Dr. Sabi and connection, and how there's a connection to his death and Indians, and something with the Indians taking some of his products and them having hot spots in Central and South America and Eastern countries of detoxing. Even in South Africa and Dominican Republic. What's happening here? Sean Kingston, that scam he and his mother pulled, that didn't seem very Indian to you? Did y'all see the rabbit disease going on with the spores coming out the rabbit? Isn't it very interesting how all the white people, all the white celebrities and entertainers that moved out of the United States, except for the black people, y'all didn't think that's weird? I said, how come the black people have to stay in the United States, the celebrities or whatever, but the white ones get to move out of the United States? What in the world is going on here? Y'all don't peep that? Have y'all been looking at Madonna and Naomi Campbell, how decrepit and weird they've been looking? Naomi Campbell can't even walk. Then who in the fuck has that been walking the catwalk? Madonna barely, she out here looking like a senior citizen. What the fuck is happening? Kamala and J.D. Vance. What the fuck happened in the UK? That the UK said, nah, bitch, we don't want you to eat here, J.D. Vance. You and your Indian wife. I don't give a fuck what she is. But fucking around with Kamala. What's that about? They don't want nothing to do with J.D. Vance in the UK. What's that? What's that? White girls are out here having Negro fatigue. You black men looking real stupid out here with these white girls, huh? They out here talking behind y'all backs. They said, oh my God, I'm so tired of Jerome. He keeps talking about how his homies done died and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, Jerome. Oh my God. I'm so sorry that happened. Oh, who died? Oh, Then they're white girls. Oh, I'm so tired of it. Look, I'm young and I can live my life. And I'm a white girl. I don't have to deal with that. I don't. I'm just telling you. You know what? Jerome gonna meet us at this bar. We're gonna charge him up, and he gonna pay for our cocktails and glasses. White women, millennials, they out here going to your black clubs. They out here trying to be black women. Niggas eating it up. But not knowing you're being talked about. Oh, and black women, white women have now appropriated you. They have studied your whole get down. We have a whole culture out here. Something very interesting going on. They keep pushing Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus on us. We're sleeping on Billie Eilish, but they have this trans energy called Ethel Kain. Ethel Kain is like that energy. What is it? That Kim Petro. What's that song called? Unholy. What in the trans and cult is going on here? White people are into some other shit that is above our pay grade. There's a fight between Ethel Kain and Lana Del Rey. The fuck is going on in the white world? I'm over here looking. So let me get some Fregois and some French champagne and shit and eat this shit over here. They over here in the white world clowning. Niggas over here sleeping on Japan. Who in the fuck is a Yuki Chiba? Y-U-K-I. Chiba? Who? Then all of a sudden I fell in a rabbit hole of Indonesian women. I said, who are these big hipped women? And they always shaking their booty. Bye. Florence and the Machines. Nah, I'm over here watching the white folks, y'all. I'm minding their business. As y'all over here, I'm minding their business. Because I want to know what they doing. Because I need to understand the spell work I need to watch out for. You have Ethel Kain talking about Southern Gothic. Then you got black people talking about Southern Gothic. No. Southern Gothic is one whole energy. Because Southern Gothic is about incest, about being molested, about being harmed, sexually assaulted, all of that. That's what creates it. Southern Gothic is a dark magic energy. And we're getting Ethel or ether people, ethers, fucking it up in the universe. Hippie movement. The hippie movement was an energy that unraveled itself. I was listening to an energy of talking about the hippie movement was a test and data taking on sexually transmitted infections and how many sexually transmitted infections one can have and how many gene pools it can pull from and mutations. and how one person can have how many sexually transmitted infections. They were talking about this one man kept coming into the clinic in San Francisco. They said almost 12 fucking times in a month. He kept getting shit. They would get rid of it. He'll get shit again. The hippie movement was the eunuch and bisexual and non-binary frequencies. And understand, bohemian is different from hippie. And I keep telling you, San Francisco is the epicenter. And in white news, they over there mad at that Zuckerberg. They say he doing too much with his fucking mansion over there in Palo Alto. They call it a compound. I told you Facebook is a compound. Facebook is a cult. It has its own island. I told y'all I went there and them people were weird as fuck. I said, this is an island and they call it a campus. So what you think? Zuckerberg and his wife, they hold cult leaders, bitch. Why y'all sleeping? And what's wrong with you guys over here listening to black men talking about moon magic and moon this and moon that? A black man don't have a period. He can't talk the moon. Ain't shit a black man can tell you about the moon. You playing in your face. You know, some Muslims and set up allegedly and bought that Epstein Island. Y'all one day gonna see that Epstein didn't even exist. It was a whole joke all the time. Y'all up here angry with Jocelyn because they didn't let her out on work release. Of course they did. How you guys believing in what's wrong? Yeah, I was wondering why you. You gonna go tonight?
Yeah,
or 12. Or 12? Okay. Y'all gonna you guys gonna find out all this shit was on some bullshit. It's a distraction. So yeah, some Muslims allegedly then bought the island, the compound. What I'm very interested about is what in a Hunter Biden Dr. Sabi detox did he use? Because he out here clean and talking. He didn't clown Melania, what's her name? Melania, Trump's wife, saying shit. That bitch was a ho-ho on that compound. I ain't got time to be fucking around with her bullshit. I said, well, maybe their son shouldn't have confronted his alleged father. Talking about game on. Then Melania talking about telling her son to be good. Remember during the inauguration, he got up in his father's face. You know, Melania is a whole energy. She didn't got in. What is it on? What is that visa? Genius visa? Some kind of visa? He out here clowning like fuck. You can't trust no man that was on crack. That nigga had a whole dope man video. He's my guilty pleasure. You know dope fiend's gonna tell it. You don't sit up and ask a dope fiend a question. I thought y'all knew. Oh, that bitch. I remember my brother's friend, and we were talking about this lady, and his friend she got off her drugs and cleaned her life up. And we were talking about this lady named Cassie. Cassie is the mother of the dude who used to be in that group, Digital Underground. And I was talking how she helped my kid's father's sister to manipulate the trust documentation. And she said, wait a minute, Cassie? You mean Cassie who, what she say? She sucks up more pussy than a fucking mop? I said, oh. That's when I knew right there, you don't fuck around with people who are dope fiends. They'll tell it. And he clean and sober right now? He gonna tell it. I want them to ask him more questions. I want to know more shit. I said that's why he was over there in that South Africa and shit. Have y'all been seeing the bullshit been going on? They so busy talking about black people and what the fuck we do. Have y'all been watching what's been happening abroad? Have y'all been watching how there's a whole Indian murder crew that walks up to people and shoot them like the cartel? Are we sure it's the cartel? Because them Indians are just like the cartel. They be out there shooting and murdering, killing. They always want to show the black man whooping up on the black woman, whooping up on somebody. But can we go abroad and look at them people from Thailand, China, Korea? That's how they be reporting. Them men be socking them up with the babies in the hand, throwing them, beating them, kicking them. A dude got so mad with his teacher for giving him a bad grade. He kicked her all in the throat, beat her ass, beat the teacher's ass. This was in Thailand. In the Americas, over there in that Orange County, a Chinese woman then went into fucking Whole Foods. She had $1,000 worth of groceries in her basket. She went to the self-checkout. She only paid for the probiotics and then walked out the goddamn store with $1,000 worth of fucking groceries. They have her on video and they took a picture of her. I said, why are we not hearing about stories like this? A man killed his wife. A white man in the UK killed his wife because she wouldn't give him breast milk. Do you know in America, they're having handwriting class? There's a black couple that has created the culture of handwriting, that it's a movement. Handwriting is a movement. Do you know that they have dumbed down the grading system? Do you know in California they have shortened the time of going to school? Them people don't like that Zoran or whoever that guy that they want to put in place, in New York. They don't like him. They say he's trying to push universal medical that causes a waiting time of years to get your medical care. Yeah, because he's not a real political person. I keep telling y'all, follow the money. Y'all black people in DC, I want to loop back to that, are so in your feelings. They just want to attack the black community. No, they want to attack DC as a whole. Their real goal is really those white Yankees, the white folks. It's not so much you. They could just go right in and just buy up all y'all properties, because a lot of, especially even in Maryland, the properties are vacant. They have switched around DC. So no, it's not about you black people. It's really about the white Yankees who causes all of these problems and obstruction in making money in real estate. They have a monopoly, them Yankees. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. The only thing black people should be concerned about is your federal rights and your rights, period. Because motherfuckers are coming up on y'all, walking up on you, asking for your ID. And you don't have to give them your fucking ID because they can sit up and try to make a probable cause, ask you questions. In a minute, what they're really pushing for is face recognition and have cars sitting. Now you walk past the trucks or police cars and it's supposed to pick up your face or something. They have that in London. You walk past a vehicle and it's supposed to pick up your face. I guess if you have any warrants or anything. That's what you should really peep in the laws and surveillance laws and privacy laws, because that's what they're really trying to do. Can you imagine you walking it up? That's that nigga there. Drone, get them and put them handcuffs on his ass. They don't want to keep chasing y'all. Right? Anyway. This is Weird Renegade Witches Blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.